two Blittle Leaguers, Somerville Sunflowers, proud Somerville Sunflowers. Really, it all started with you all beginning your winter practices for the upcoming season. And like always, you were enmeshed in figuring out mysteries and fighting monsters. And that's just what Blittle League is. Your parents signed the permission slips, which makes you defenders of reality. But unfortunately, through a series of events, you inadvertently changed the past. You inadvertently traveled into the past, changed the past, and created an alternate timeline in which Zlobs, Darby, and Mindy were kind of trapped. Morgan wasn't trapped, however, because alternate reality, Morgan was perfectly comfortable in the alternate reality timeline. And, the thing is, for Zlobs, Darby, and Mindy, you wanted to get home. And for Morgan, she wanted to stay exactly where she was, which unfortunately, due to some calamities in an underground catacomb, resulted in all four of you traveling to a third timeline. And so that's where you are. So let's talk about this third timeline. You are standing, all four of you, on the mound at New Liguria Garden. Like the Boston Garden of your timeline, only different. And so you're standing there and you're starting to all realize the gravity of the situation you're in. This is definitely not home. You're able to piece together, based on what you can see from here, that this is clearly not your reality. Zlobs, Darby, Mindy, you're looking around trying to figure out where the heck are we. Morgan, you're trying to do the same thing because, unlike these other three, you were perfectly happy at home in bed recovering from a cold. And now all of a sudden you're here in the New Liguria Garden, which is a place you have never heard of. What you're able to piece together in these few bracing seconds in the middle of the night is that there is apparently some sort of global Roman Empire in this timeline. And even though it is nighttime and the garden is empty, the big screen in the outfield is still running a rotation of slides. Commercials. Visit the Eternal City, the seat of empire. This beautiful, sweeping image of Rome, only instead of ruins, it's great, big, beautiful buildings that have been well maintained for over 2,000 years. Drive a Ferrari Eagle, modern engineering, classic Roman styling, and so on and so forth. And you just see every few seconds, a new slide appears, which means the four of you looking at each other, looking into each other's faces, just a different color of light washes over you every few moments as you all take in the night air.
Am I fever dreaming right now?
No.
Wait, Morgan, is that you?
Well, yeah.
I go to Morgan and start like tugging at her face.
Why are you like this, Zobs?
Are you? What's your thoughts about Ryan?
Ugh, Ryan.
I tackle Morgan in a huge hug.
I jump on top of him too.
I'm so happy you're back. Oh, I missed you so much.
What do you mean?
Oh, this is a relief.
I talked to y'all yesterday, although y'all were very strange yesterday.
That was not us.
No.
What were you like? Was I handsome?
You look the same.
So yes, great.
And I was there. You talked to me.
I talked to you, and I talked to Mathers. Mathers, I will say that Mathers was dressed extremely, extremely well. I thought that was odd.
I mean, you dress fine. I really like your denim jacket, Mindy.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. It's all right. It's just that Morgan doesn't know about the other place.
What other place?
Oh boy! Oh, he's so excited to tell you. Okay, so we went back to 1920 and we broke time by making Mindy's grandmother eternal, and then we went back to the regular time, but we changed the timeline, and it was an alternate timeline where Mindy's Nana became the witch of the world and took over everything, and it was really cool. But then
and her dad was the mayor.
That was the mayor. It was so cool, Mayor of Somerville. We got cupcakes from Blindell's that had worms in it. That was great. We gotta have those more.
Candy worms.
Candy worms, yeah, not real worms. That'd be gross. I'd try it. Yeah.
Well, we were stuck there.
Yeah.
Yes, we were stuck
there.
Mm-hmm. So then we were stuck there and we were figuring out how to get home, and then Zlobs punched this lady in the aquarium, and then
great.
Darby tried to light her sword on fire and it wouldn't. So then I went inside Darby's mind, but I accidentally pulled you two with me. But it wasn't you, Morgan. It was the other Morgan from the time of the other one. And then can
I clarify one thing? The person I punched, the woman that I punched, she was an evil villain controlling an army of penguins. And
she had a robot head and evil penguins.
Yeah, I just didn't punch a random person.
And in Darby's head, her brother showed up, who is Stupid Declan, and Stupid Declan came along and tried to fake help us and bring us to this pencil.
It wasn't
magic. It's an item and it could change time. So we went to get it. And then the other you, Morgan, the other you broke the pencil on purpose in a massive betrayal. And just thank you for the demonstration, Zlobs. Don't worry, I have 2 other pencils on me.
Oh, sorry.
She kind of had a good reason, but it wasn't it was one of those, like, I understand why she did it, but it was
a
misguided
reason.
It was a feelings reason, which is also kind of like why Mindy hates my brother. It's a feelings thing, not like he was kind of deceitful. I will give you that, but he was trying to help. He was ultimately trying to help, and now he's in hell. But
wait, what?
That's neither here nor
hold
there,
on.
apparently, to anyone else.
Hold on. Wait, Darby, how do you know he's in heck? I thought he just kind of sank through the floor.
What's underneath the floors, Lobs?
The foundation.
Yeah.
Not when you're an angel.
Sorry about your brother, Stupid Declan.
I'll get him back somehow.
So that's a lot.
Uh-huh.
But now you're here.
Now you're here, and we're here.
And Slabs put the pencil back together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how we ended up here, right? Yeah.
I as soon as it did that, I think everything in reality broke.
Yeah, it was like the ceiling fell, but it was kind of the ceiling above the ceiling.
I think there were a lot of...
Is that heaven?
Like the ceiling of reality fell.
It was certainly some sort of holy energy I could feel, and it was not pleased.
Okay, 3 things, guys.
Mm-hmm.
1, I would me, not weirdo Morgan, but me. I would never betray you because you're all my family, and family is the most important thing.
I tackle hug Morgan again.
Secondly, O'Darcy, I'm really sorry about your brother, and then I'm going to give O'Darcy a really long hug.
Thanks.
We're sorry about your brother, and it's not really anyone's fault.
It's my fault, but
we'll get him back. I assume.
Maybe that's what we have to do to get back to normal.
My Nana said that she went through hell in the war, but it's hard to say it.
I've never.
We should talk to your Nana. I bet she would really help. I think that's a good plan.
Nana does always help.
Mm-hmm.
Your Nana is amazing.
Morgan, you should have seen her in the other place, because in the other place, the experiments that she does on her jars and on me?
Yeah.
she got famous for them in the other place, and that's why they made her the chief witch of the world.
But we got to talk to her when she was like our age.
Whoa, I'm so sad I wasn't there. I'm really sad now.
Yeah, we missed you too. It
Yeah.
wasn't the same.
We
It wasn't the
missed
same
you a lot.
adventure without you. There's a group called the Somerville Sweet Peas. That was really cool. That was a team before the Sunflowers.
Oh yeah.
There's an army base where Longsock or around Longsock. It was really cool.
We really missed you, though.
Yeah.
And I bet you missed us since we were different.
Yeah, y'all were very weird, and I'm so glad that it's not them and it's you.
Yay.
Should we go see your Nana?
Yeah. Wait a second. We're on a pitching mound. I put a grenade into the pitching mound.
Time cap.
Yeah, you put a grenade in the pitcher's mound and you pull the pin and you all give it space. So let's roll 2d6 plus tough to kick some butt.
Oh boy, this is a 8.
Okay, a partial success. Great big explosion. The pitching rubber arcs through the air. Big puff of dirt and dust scatters all over the well-manicured infield. And then you hear in the distance, coming from the dugout tunnel, "Hey, you're Blittle Leaguers."
Yeah.
Walking into the light of the infield is a pitcher, one you know. One you would know if this was your timeline. Dun Keys, pitcher of the Boston Flowers, or in this universe anyway, the New Ligurian Flowers. She's tall and broad, though her uniform says New Ligurian Flowers, you cannot mistake her face. She walks up, kind of rolling a blaseball back and forth in her hand. "Hi, everybody."
Hey, how's it going?
Ah!
Slabs, be cool.
Okay.
Doing some grenade testing out here?
Yeah, I thought there'd be something cool underneath the mound, but it just turns out it's just dirt. I'm sorry.
And it was also an accident.
But I did it on purpose.
We'll fill it in. We'll fill it in. We'll refill the.
Okay, yeah. I started pushing dirt in.
Hey, Dunn?
Yeah.
We've met before, right? Like, you know who I am, right?
Okay. This is going to be a very important role because this role is going to determine the reality of how this alternate universe and all the other alternate universes are going to work.
Oh, wow. That's an important role.
Come on, Morgan.
Morgan, do you want there to be an alternate version of all of you in this universe? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh!
Roll 2d6 and tell me what you get.
4.
Dunkeys kind of looks at you, narrows her eyes. I hate to say it, but I meet a lot of Blittle Leaguers. And though I appreciate the work that all of you do, I unfortunately don't remember you in particular. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, it's not like we used to call each other by our first names or anything when we were at the offices, or when you came to my birthday party, but whatever.
We're just a little tired because
we're birthday party.
We're a long way from home.
Mm-hmm.
And we're feeling tired because it's the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not here to track down the Gladiator.
The what?
Well, I heard the grenade. I assumed that some Blittle Leaguers came here tracking down the Gladiator.
Can I take a very quick peek inside of Dunkeys' mind?
Absolutely, you can. What is the purpose of the peak?
I'm looking of course, for any helpful information about who this gladiator is. And also, if Dunkey has any secrets lying around, I might just grab one on my way out.
Sure. So let's investigate a mystery. That's going to be 2d6 plus your weird to read her mind and tell me what you get.
12.
All right. That is a full success. So here's how this works. You can ask 2 questions from the investigate a mystery list. Or you could spend one of your questions learning a secret, and then you can ask the other question from the list.
Well, about the gladiator, I suppose I'll ask, where did it go?
Well, it punched a hole through one of the loading garages and headed screaming into the night.
Oh, into the night. I see. And also, what here is not what it seems?
This will tie into the secret you probably want to know. You are... Well, actually, here's a question. Because you rolled a 12, I'll let you define it. This new global Roman Empire, is it good for this continent or bad for this continent?
You know, based on my very limited knowledge of the situation, I'm going to have to go and say bad for the continent.
Okay.
But that's just a preliminary observation.
So the secret you glean from Dunkeys' mind is that Dunkeys, while she is very happy to be a pitcher for the new Ligurian Flowers, is also part of a resistance faction that is trying to topple the global Roman Empire's control of New Liguria, as it's called.
Then I would like to say we are looking for the gladiator Dunkeys. We are here to help you any way we can.
Oh, good. Well, that's important. Look, I gave the gladiator a wide berth, especially after I saw the kind of carnage he or it caused. And I hit the emergency button in the dugout, and I assumed some Blittle Leaguers would show up. And well, here you are. So
here we are, of course.
If you want to look around, I have a key to get you all into the underground of the stadium.
Yes, I grabbed
the key.
Or you can turn it yourself.
Actually, where's the player's locker room?
Oh, right through there, right through the dugout.
Run! I just run.
Oh,
Slobs! I'm gonna chase after Slobs.
You're all trundling after Slobs.
We trundle as a team.
Slobs, you're opening a number of locked doors, and you make it into the locker room, and this place is an absolute mess. You've all seen pictures of what the inside of a Blaseball locker room looks like. It's big and fancy, and there are lockers and uniforms and big TVs. Morgan, you have, in point of fact, been in the Boston Garden locker room a number of times. This place looks like that if a whole bandolier of Slobs grenades went off in here. Things are smashed and torn apart. The lights are flickering. It's and not just like flickering like a broken light, but it's almost like the lights are trying to come on and then they wink out again, and then they try to come on and they wink out again. There's water dripping from the ceiling.
Wink. Nick Winkler. I go to his locker.
Yeah, you go to famed Blaseball player Nick Winkler's locker, and it is the door was ripped off, and there were a couple of energy drinks on the top shelf that have been literally ripped apart. But yeah, are you looking for anything in particular?
Oh, a bat and a helmet and a glove and a jersey.
So
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
While I turn around holding a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
I'm gently wondering if this is a priority at the moment. That's an
Yes.
open question.
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
I'm gonna see if I can investigate a mystery and see what sort of creature was it.
Absolutely. Morgan, investigate a mystery, 2d6 plus sharp, and tell me what you get.
8.
8. You can ask one question on the list.
How about what is being concealed?
What is being concealed is what Dunkeys knows about the gladiator. Because it's very clear to you what caused this. A big, powerful creature. But as you're, Morgan, walking around and looking at things and observing and trying to piece together a picture, Dunkeys, who's also in here, like you'll say something like, "Oh, isn't that interesting?" And Dunkeys will be like, "Oh, really? Interesting? What's interesting?" Like she's trying too hard to seem surprised.
Hey, Keys, would you mind maybe going to get us some refreshments while we can continue our investigation in here for the gladiator?
Sure, pizza bowls it is. I'll be right back.
Oh, our garden.
And I head over to Dunkeys' locker.
Sure. You pry it open. This one's untouched, but you end up kind of ripping the thing open, and inside there's actually a false back to it. And that's the part that, especially because you all kind of got a sense of this after Morgan alerted you. You kind of pull the false wall down, and behind it are notes and notebooks and a very small cell phone. And you leaf through it all, and it looks like Dunkeys and a few of the other players are kind of planning something big, something to, for lack of a better word, kind of strike back against the global Roman Empire, some kind of big display or a speech or something like that. And an arena fighter called the Gladiator was going to be a big part of it. And you see, you're kind of leafing through, and there's like a picture of a gladiator, like a Roman gladiator, like you've seen in the history books, like wearing like armor and a big mask and carrying a sword and standing in a pit.
And armored shorts.
Yeah, and armored shorts. But then as you kind of leaf through the notes, you realize that this gladiator had been, for months and months and months, fed a cocktail of wildly experimental drugs. And there you see like receipts and invoices for massive amounts of armor, massive amounts of chemical supplements, lots of tubing. And very weirdly, 3 armored gloves.
3
armored gloves. This is a disaster.
Yeah, this is terrible. Oh boy.
Can we collect a couple of pieces of paper?
Sure. Yeah, you gather it all up.
Maybe
and then put the false back on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go around and figure out whose lockers have not been roughed up as much as the others.
Sure. You end up kind of getting a list together of a few of the folks. Then you kind of cross-reference it against the notes, and yeah, it looks like 3 or 4 of the players on this team were part of this independence movement or whatever it was. And around this moment, Dunkeys comes back in with 4 delicious. It's like if you've ever had an ice cream sundae with like an edible bowl. It's that, but pizza.
Oh.
And you have that big, huge collectible mugs full of soda, and Dunkeys sits down across from you. Well, any leads as to where the gladiator ran off to?
I think he went through that gladiator-sized hole in the wall.
I'm sorry, where is that?
The gladiator-sized hole in the wall, the big wall.
Oh, right, that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Dunkeys.
Yeah.
Would you like us to defeat the gladiator, or are you looking for us to detain the gladiator?
Mindy, because you still, you still have a few, because you still have a hand keeping the door open to her mind, she says out loud, well, it's a giant monster and you're Blittle Leaguer, so I was hoping you would destroy it before it does some damage to New Liguria.
Destroy it.
Destroy it. But in her mind, she's thinking, we've spent millions on that gladiator. We'll have to come up with something else.
So if we're going to destroy it, what's the big weakness?
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Well, I've seen gladiators like that gladiator fighting in the New Ligurian arena, but I've never seen a gladiator that big. Mindy, she's obviously lying.
Can I bring Darby to the side to ask her a question really quickly?
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
What's up?
What happens? I just rattle off like inane like questions about baseball.
Oh, Darcy.
Yeah.
Didn't he say that he pressed a button to get Little Leaguers here?
Dunkeys, yeah. She pushed a button to. Yeah.
If she said that, are we those Little Leaguers? Are we those Blittle Leaguers, or are there other ones coming?
I don't know. I think that it's probably us because I think someone else would be here by now, but we should probably be on a.
Here's the question for you. Do you want there to be other Blittle Leaguers? Did you want that? Like, should that button have actually summoned Blittle Leaguers?
Yes.
Yeah. At around this moment, 9. No, that's the whole starting lineup of a team of Blittle Leaguers run into the clubhouse wearing Blittle League uniforms very similar to yours, and it says the New Ligurian Lilacs. And let's take a sentence and describe the captain of the Lilacs.
The captain is covered in thorns. Just all over her body.
Mm-hmm. And her hair is like a bunch of roses, like all blooming down into like a big flowing rose hair.
Her face is exactly the same as our coach's.
Her face is exactly the same, but her eyes are all black.
Yeah, so, she and all of her teammates run in and look at Dunkeys and salute. Brambleman Martinez reporting for duty. What seems to be the problem? And Dunkeys explains to them what the issue is, which is the same as she explained to you, which is that a large mutant gladiator somehow broke into the garden, tore the place up, and eventually punched its way out, and it is somewhere likely ravaging the downtown New Liguria. Brambleman asks a bunch of astute questions that you all already know the answers to. And at this moment, Dunn Keys looks at the lilacs, then looks at all of you and says, the sunflowers, huh? I don't know if I've ever heard of you folks.
Yeah, we're from Somerville.
We're an elite squad.
Yes.
Somerville.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's right across the Charles River, next to Cambridge.
Sobs.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And Medford. And Arlington.
Those are nicknames for what we call, around town places.
Team code names, like you have for plays.
Yeah.
Whichever one of you is feeling very lucky about lying, roll 2d6 plus charm.
I'll do it.
Good luck, Morgan.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna roll first.
I want to help by adding more Somerville facts.
Okay, so Morgan, you're going to put a -1 on this roll.
Can I telepathy Zlobs to make him think that his mouth is full?
Oh, yes. -1 instead of automatic failure. Morgan, roll. Tell me what you get.
Oh, no. 3. Yep. 3. Plus 2 minus. It was 3 plus 2 minus 1, so it's 4.
Dunn Keys gets very quiet.
Yeah, so they're like Somerville. Somerville is like
where we go in the summer.
Are you from Somerville? I didn't think so, Buster Brown.
Dunn Keys is nodding along and then turns to the captain of the Lilacs, Brambleman Martinez, and they exchange a look, and the Lilacs start fanning out to surround you.
Uh-oh. I know this. Sunflowers fan.
I reach into my pocket to get the black ash bat.
So here's the big question. First answer is the right answer. Do you want to stay and fight, or do you want to run?
Could I try and telepathy into the minds of all the people surrounding us, and maybe sort of make a gladiator sound to distract them from like the distance?
Sure. 2d6 plus weird.
Okay. It's probably something like, "Oh, I'm a gladiator," from like outside. And that'll plus weird. That'll be a 10.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a gladiator, they all hear. And Brambleman looks at Dunn Keys, and Dunn Keys looks back at Brambleman. The gladiator's more important. I'll deal with them. And the entire New Ligurian Lilac Blittle League team sprints out into the street, drawing fun and exotic weapons from their various pockets to engage the gladiator in deadly combat. Meanwhile, Dunn Keys is rolling up her sleeve and opening up the little metal hatch on her arm and adjusting some various levers. You hear the sound of pneumatic pistons firing within her gut, and she grows a couple of inches in height, and her arms kind of pop out and get real big. Now, before I do something I'm going to regret, I'm going to ask you all for the truth.
Yes.
Are you Blittle Leaguers?
Yes.
Yep.
But you're not the ones I called.
No.
Sorry we lied to you earlier.
So one more question. What's going to stop me from locking you all in a locker until the umpires can come in?
I show her the bat, and I say, Dunn, do you recognize this bat?
Do you want her to?
No.
No, what is that?
This bat was gifted to us from the commissioner themselves. This was bestowed upon us to give us a special mission to fight this gladiator. And with this bat comes an expectation from the commissioner that you don't ask questions and you let us go.
2d6 plus charm. I'll give you a +1 because that was very cool.
It was cool.
While this happens, Zlob looks at Mindy and gives her a look. It's like, is this a lie? Should I play along?
I don't know.
It was a 5.
True.
Mindy, is this a lie? Should I play along?
You didn't use your indoor voice, Lob.
Zlob still thinks his mouth is full.
Okay. Dunkeys gets into attack formation, which means that her hands start firing as the pneumatic pistons inside start heating up.
Wait.
Dunkeys is coming in to attack you.
Wait,
Who
we are
wants to
for
do something?
resistance.
Okay. Mindy, 2d6 plus charm.
No. I'm not charming. I'm just emphatic. Oh, I think that my charm is minus. Okay, 7.
You scream wherewith the resistance, pretty much as Dunkeys' pneumatic powered fist hits you in the sternum and sends you sliding back across the locker room for 1 harm.
I take the black ash bat and I swing at Dunkeys.
Okay. That's going to automatically hit because that is a terrifying artifact. You are now in a bat fight with the star pitcher of your favorite baseball team. You run in and, kind of smash her across the knuckles. You create separation between her and Mindy. Roll to kick some butt. 2d6 plus tough. This is just to see if she hits you in return.
Okay. This is a 10.
Okay, she does not. At this point, she's trying to process a number of things. 1, she is under attack, and 2, someone just screamed something about the resistance.
I'm going to try and throw a shield at her to prevent her from moving.
Okay, so that's going to be you using your magic to temporarily trap a person. 2d6 plus weird.
All right. That is 7.
All right. So, your effect here is that you're going to trap her. Describe what it looks like when you kind of magically ensnare someone.
All right, I'm gonna pitch basically a blaseball, except that blaseball is going to be made of lightning, and then I'm gonna throw it down center field and kaboom, shield.
Gotcha. So you throw this ball. It hits Dunkey kind of right in the center, hits the ground, and starts arcing with electric energy, and she starts screaming and getting trapped. However, this is a partial effect, so there's a glitch. The problematic side effect happens. That problematic side effect is that Dunkeys, who is powered by essentially a coffee boiler, is beginning to overheat.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
She's kind of screaming. Her pneumatic piston fists are firing into the air. She punches a hole in the roof. Yeah, and you can see like her knuckles are starting to glow red hot.
Let's run.
Leave her.
Run? What about donkeys?
She'll be fine. She hate you. I'm mad at her.
Are you out of there?
Yeah. I like to leave no one behind. I know a way out.
Cool. Yeah. You extrapolate. Well, you know what? Let's roll for it first. So, yeah, the leave no one behind. You need to roll 2d6 plus sharp.
Oh, that's an 11.
Good. The good news with that super success is that through the magic of this rule set, it means that you get everyone out clean and no one is hurt. That includes done keys. So I'll describe it here because, you know, Zlobs, your entire world kind of becomes a tactical display. Like you start looking, so like hallway here, no, big red X. No, the ventilation shaft. Yeah, yes, that's the key. If this is anything like the Boston Garden, then if we get up there, we're going to be able to get into the ventilation system. And so you start kind of laying all this out. You climb up, and as you get into the ventilation system, you punch through a wall, twist an irrigation line, and within a few minutes, the now white hot done keys, still in the locker room, gets drenched with a shower from the sprinkler system. Steam starts filling the room and starts billowing into the ventilation shaft as you're all elbowing down the ventilation shaft towards freedom. You end up kind of punching out like a vent cap, and you land yourselves onto Cashian Street, which is the street that they block off for the big tailgates that they have before New Ligurian Flowers games.
Sonic, that was great.
Well done.
Oh, thanks. That was kind of easy.
What? That was so cool.
Do you like the blueprints memorized?
Yeah, you don't spend your time looking on the internet, going through your parents' access to databases of architecture of major city buildings.
No, I have a life.
I don't.
That's fair.
What should we do now?
Hannah.
I think we got to find that gladiator. I feel like I kind of feel bad for it.
Yeah, I don't know if it asked to be mutated.
Yeah.
Well, we can find it and ask. Can I try and tune into the gladiator?
You definitely can. 2d6 plus weird.
I just sit down in this street cross-legged and close my eyes.
I take my hat and put it over her eyes, kind of like that scene in Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a 12.
You can ask 3 questions from the list.
Where is the creature right now?
The creature right now is heading to the New Ligurian Power Station.
The New Ligurian Power Station. What is it planning to do right now?
It's going to drink the place dry.
Who does it regard as the biggest threat?
Rome.
What an answer.
I found it.
That was quick. That was really good.
You're very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks. He's drawing a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm. I mop up some blood that came out of Mindy's nose.
Thanks.
Yeah, the visuals in your head as you kind of reached out with your mind were deeply troubling. This gladiator is made out of hate. It's all it thinks about. The image you see again and again is this gladiator walking through the eternal city of Rome towards the Colosseum of Rome, which in the modern era is not a ruin, and in point of fact has an enormous silver dome over it.
Ooh.
And it wants to tear it down. And what that means is it's going to destroy New Liguria and then cross the ocean and then get to Rome.
We got to get to it fast.
It's at the New Ligurian Power Station.
Where is? Oh, if that's where the Boston Power Station is, I know where that is.
How are we going to get there?
I opened the door to the car that I unlocked.
Yeah, there's a beautiful, and I mean beautiful, Ferrari Eagle sitting right here.
Zobs, whose car is this?
Ours now.
Okay.
I
get in.
There's like
Yep,
a parking ticket for Dunkies sitting in the console.
Yeah, you're stealing Dunkies at Ferrari.
We could return it later.
Yeah, probably.
Grand Theft Auto as a team?
Always.
And so you Grand Theft Auto as a team, we kind of see like a quick cut of Slobs like ripping the wires out from under the steering wheel, turning the car over, shifting into gear, wheels peeling out and taking off into the dark, slick streets of New Liguria at night.
Slobs, careful.
I'm going to turn on the radio to see what the radio sounds like.
Do you listen to music or sports talk?
First music.
Well, this is nice. In this reality, NSYNC is still together. So they are continuing to bang out the hits. Their sequel to Bye Bye Bye, Hi 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 is out.
Hi. That's
and so yeah, it's the music of a generation kind of rattling around in your ears as you're driving through New Liguria.
Amazing.
And now the weird thing about New Liguria is that, well, it's a couple of things. The surface streets are all very similar to Boston's. It's like the kind of those meandering, no street in a straight line, beautiful old brick buildings. However, every 100 or so feet is like a huge Roman column that is supporting a grid of perfectly straight streets above your head.
Whoa.
It's like the entire city is laced with aqueducts. And so you're driving on surface streets, and there are buildings that are made of brick. And every so often you're driving through like this big triumphal arch. You
want to drive on that?
You do. And as you drive under it, you see that there's this huge statue. You don't know who it is, some emperor you've never heard of. And it's this great big picture, this action sculpture of someone wearing, Roman centurion armor, pulling a musket away from like a bruised and battered George Washington.
Oh.
And you just keep driving. There are every place in Boston where you would expect an American flag. There's this kind of purple flag with like eagles and like laurel leaves on it. There's a lot of military police out. It's weird.
It's beautiful, but it doesn't feel good.
I don't think Rome is doing great things for the, everyday Bostonian. New LaGuardian.
LaGuardian.
Is that what they named the airport after? New LaGuard.
Yes. You're driving, and as you start getting closer to the power station, you realize that the streetlights here are starting to have trouble staying on.
Oh,
that's a good sign.
We're getting closer.
I turn up the radio.
You turn up the radio. Morgan, still music, or do you want to turn it to sports talk?
Oh, sports, please.
So the cycling news is, as you would expect, about the Boston Flowers or the New Ligurian Flowers, but also that amount, like they're taking calls from the audience, and so half the callers are asking about the upcoming flowers season, and the other half are talking in great detail about the New Ligurian Arena and the gladiators that fight in it. And apparently, like, those are the two big loves of New Liguria. So whereas in Boston, everyone loves the flowers, here people are kind of split between watching the flowers and watching Roman gladiatorial fighting. And so they all have it's a lot of hot takes about that. On the radio, at one point, one of the callers, one of the callers calls and says, "So, all right, long time listener, first time caller. I'm wondering if anyone at the station has heard anything from Alexandros. I know he's been missing for a few weeks now, but he really was my favorite gladiator." And the commentator weighs in and says, "No, unfortunately, Alexandros is still missing. We wish all the best to his family. He really was quite the fighter, and hopefully he can return to the arena very soon." And so you kind of listen to that, and then they start talking about a sport called slocker, which is super weird. You can't find them. People can use their hands, and that's weird. And so you turn it back to the music, and you keep driving, and you get out onto a service road heading towards the power station, and it's kind of a straight shot running by all these different warehouses, huge power lines running on these big steel aqueducts overhead. And as you're about a quarter mile away, you see kind of in the distance this big sparking explosion. And
found him.
Yeah, you continue to gun it on the on the Ferrari Eagle. And you end up kind of pulling up short because there's an obstruction in the middle of the road a few hundred feet from the power station.
Oh, I cut it hard, slide screeching, and as it stops, I dive out.
You roll out.
I hate when he does that.
The obstruction is Brambleman Martinez, captain of the New Ligurian Lilacs, tending to 3 badly hurt Little Leaguers, and doing her best to keep them safe. She's with one hand trying to examine their faces and see who's hurt the worst, and her other hand has plunged into the ground, and a few feet away she's creating essentially a wall of brambles. So you're kind of tucked behind this little defensive shield.
We gotta hop the brambles before they get too tall.
Yeah. One of you, whoever's feeling lucky, roll 2d6 plus tough.
I'll do it. 8, 9, 10.
Nice. So, essentially, what you Darby, you as a student of the human condition and also one who's fairly tactical when it comes to combat, you and actually all of you do kind of realize what Brambleman is doing. It looks like half the team is out there still fighting that thing, and these are the ones that are hurt and needed to pull back. So Brambleman kind of looks at all of you as you start scaring the bramble wall she's slowly starting to build. Wait a minute, you're those fake Blittle Leaguers.
We're real Blittle Leaguers, coach. I mean, you. Uh-oh.
Captain.
Watch what we can do in there, and there will be no doubt.
Yeah, give us a chance.
Good luck. We're down 4, so you make a full team again. That thing is strong.
We'll get the win.
And so you all begin running. Darby, your armored feathered wings come out and your angelic armor comes. Mindy, you start to kind of stretch out your mind. Zlobs, you have a grenade in each hand and you're covered in weapons. Morgan, the Blaseball you're holding is already crackling with lightning, and you're kind of sprinting through the night towards the sounds of pitched battle ahead. And as you're running, you see just sparks and clashes of steel on steel. The other Blittle Leaguers are up there fighting a desperate fight against a thing. It's maybe 13, 14 feet tall, covered in pieces of smooth, segmented armor, giant face cage that looks like an armored catcher's mitt over its face. It's wielding a trident 10 feet long. Between the tines of the trident is arcing this kind of weird acidic cloud. It looks like its flesh has started to grow over its armor, as if the armor was not big enough to hold all of him together. And he's kind of screaming, and with the deafness of someone that was forged in the fires of constant combat, he is parrying away the attacks of the other Blittle Leaguers. Their center fielder looks like she's the one holding the line. She's in the middle of like an 8-foot energy bubble that's kind of shaped like her. And so she's kind of standing there trying to box this thing. And, this gladiator's having none of it and is like backing her away with the trident. The other ones are like firing blunderbusses at it. And, but it looks like they're just outmatched, even with half a team.
Okay, I am going to try and destroy that trident.
Cool. How do you want to do that?
I'm going to use ritual magic, and I'm going to throw all of my energy into it.
Okay, so you want to use ritual magic to destroy this thing. Mm-hmm. This is something that like you have to kind of focus and gather together. So here is the requirement for this. You need the help of all of the other mages currently here. There are 2 others. So the 3 of you need to get together and kind of form a ritual circle to do this. Here's the requirement. You need time. Mm-hmm. So here's what this means. Zlobs, Darby, and Mindy, you each need to take an action. And you each need to be at least partially successful with that action to buy Morgan enough time. If you're not partially successful, you have to roll again. There will be consequences for each failure. Who wants to go?
I want to try to cast out evil. I want to try to do it, though, where I just cast out the evil from Alexandros. So the unnatural part that has been like put into him. Yeah.
Alexandros is coursing with, it's one of those things where like a whole bunch of illegal growth chemicals is not necessarily evil, but its purpose made it evil. And so you're trying to find a way to leach some of that out. So Darby, I will say that is 2d6 plus tough. I'm going to give it a -1 because this is some very precision exorcism.
That's a 3.
Okay. What does it look like when you try to cast out evil?
So I take my sword, which is also a bat, and I run up and I just take a giant swing and hit it square in the chest. Like it's going to be a home run.
Yeah, so you run up, plant the front foot, get a little bend in it, full connection, solid right across for most things would be its midsection, but for this gladiator would be somewhere around mid-calf. And it kind of steps forward, parries with the acidic trident, kind of squares up and then smashes you. Take 2 harm. And you kind of tumble and fall. Your wings get caught up under you and you hurt. They hurt. All right.
I was trying to be nice.
There is no such thing in the Empire. It says, trident whipping around its head.
I was gonna cast you all out next time.
Slobs or Mindy, your choice.
I look at Mindy.
KK. I take a seat on the ground.
I form a defensive stance in front of Mindy.
I'm pretty angry after seeing this gladiator hurt Darby like that. And my mind starts swirling faster and faster and faster. So I sit down and I concentrate on creating a mental storm.
Okay. 2d6 plus weird.
Ten.
Okay. Zlobs, because you're in a defensive position, I want you to roll 2d6 plus tough.
Great. In one hand, I have the black ash bat. In the other hand, I have a grenade.
Gotcha.
We got a 9.
Okay. So that counts as each of your successes. So, yeah, Mindy, you're there, and kind of the fire of your mind is starting to whip into this tornado. Zlobs, you see the gladiator kind of, through its, its face cage. You see its bright, glowing yellow eyes and the blood kind of leaking out from them as he's just his face is just a twist of veins and pulsing boils. And you realize that it knows what Mindy is doing. And so it starts stepping forward. You interpose, kind of get your defenses up. You end up taking a heck of a bad blow from the trident for 2 harm. But that's enough to allow Mindy to cast the mental storm. As you're doing that, you realize it's almost like you're like shooting a fire hose into just a room full of junk. It's like you're just smashing stuff apart and you're seeing the room for what it is if it wasn't for all that junk. And you realize that somewhere in there is Alexandro. Somewhere in there is the man that he once was. And he starts screaming wildly. The lilac center fielder in like the giant force bubble ends up kind of shoving him backwards, and he kind of opens up. Darby, you get to your feet and kind of like wipe the blood from your face. You see that Morgan and the other mages are sitting in the middle of this triangle of power. And there's like arcs of energy coming through it. Morgan's lightning, and the other mages have, like wind and growth. So there's like this weird lightning tree growing in the middle of them, and they need like one more second.
Darby,
what do you want to do?
Darby, he's in there.
I take my sword, which I'm really hoping can blaze now.
It is.
And I go to slice just some of that skin that's over the armor off, just enough to cause some pain so that he'll disengage for just a second.
Gotcha. Kick some butt, 2d6, and I'll also give you a +1 on top of that.
5.
You're kind of coming in, and he's conflicted and wild now, and he's arcing the trident back and forth. You kind of run in and slide under it. The gladiator kind of screams, reaches down, and tears off one of your wings.
Excuse me?
Can we unleash it now?
Darby needs a success.
Slobs.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh boy! Again, I take a grenade and I hit it with a black ash bat, aiming at this person.
That's going to give +1 to whatever Darby does next. Darby, we need the success from you. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna grab his leg from under him with my other arm and use my wingway to go back just like 10 feet.
Got it. 2d6 plus weird. Plus 1 on top of that, too.
8, 9.
Okay. That's a partial success, but that is enough. He, you kind of grab his leg. He kind of smashes down with the trident. The kind of the armored feathers that cover your head take most of it, but they're ripped apart, and you feel blood moving down the back of your head. But you kind of close your eyes and focus on the wingway, and you end up kind of winking out of existence with him. He starts screaming. And where do you want to teleport to? Closer to you said close, but into the power plant, into something? Where do you want to go?
Like directly into the brambles on the other side, like into them that we just climbed over.
Yeah, so you end up rematerializing in the middle of those protective brambles. And he's trapped, and as he moves, and like Brambleman and the rest of the injured lilac start backing up as the brambles start to slowly encase him. And the more he screams and struggles, the deeper the spines pierce his skin and traps him further. And he's screaming and screaming and screaming. And at that moment, Morgan, this giant tree of electric ritual energy is ready. And you kind of let go of it, and it kind of shoots up into the sky. It blooms all at once, as if spring has sprung in the middle of the night outside of this power station. And when it does, this giant trident of his turns to a puff of sunflowers.
That was actually really pretty.
And at this point, the brambles are like, he is without his weapon. He is trapped. The brambles are snaking up under the cage of his mask, and it pries it off. And you can all see into his tortured eyes.
Can I reach into the very, very back of his mind where Alexandros is still hiding?
You can.
And say, it's okay. It's okay to come out now. We're going to help you.
You do. You don't even need to roll for it. Alexandros kind of blinks away, this like fiery yellow in his eyes, and looks at you and says, I did. It was too much. I shouldn't have. It was too much. And I'm sorry. And he passes out.
Can we get him out? Can we get him out of the brambles? Zlobs, can you help me?
You can't. But there's a woman here that can. Exiting the side of a car that looks an awful lot like the math wagon is a woman in her 90s. It is, in point of fact, Nana Mathers. She walks forward with her small, slow steps. And Mindy, she looks at you. Ah, this makes sense.
Thank you for coming.
How could I not? It's funny. For years, I hoped that I would have a granddaughter, but I was never lucky enough. All of us weren't. But if we had one, we would hope it would be just like you. That's probably why I felt pulled here. Where is it you're supposed to go?
Back. Somewhere else. Really different. We don't know how to get there. But he's stuck. he's-
Her eyes well up with tears when you call her Nana.
Oh.
She kind of thinks for a moment and looks at him. I can help him. I know I can.
Anna.
I know you
I
can
need to
too.
think about. She kind of fishes from the satchel this little glass vial, and she kind of opens it up and drinks it, and then closes her eyes. And you feel her mind reach out and touch yours. Okay. I don't know if I can get you there, but I can get you closer. Wherever you go, try to find me, okay?
I'm not sure if this helps, but I have these 2 pieces of a pencil.
Yeah, give those to me. She gives you a hug. She gives all of you a hug. You all seem nice. You'll protect her, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're a team.
Good.
We trundle as a team.
Trundle as a team.
Trundle as a team.
Take care of your world, okay?
You too. And with that, you are slammed through the wall of reality.
Oh,
I vomit.
you
I
do
vomit.
not get used to that feeling.
I
Um,
don't remember eating carrots. Oh, that was that pizza.
It's a little warmer here. You're standing outside of what should be the power station, only here there is no power station at all. And in point of fact, all the lights and the power lines that would exist in Boston are gone. Instead, you see lots and lots and lots of gas lanterns leading back towards town.
What?
You look up overhead because you realize that it's dark even on a full starry night. And the reason why it's dark is because there's an enormous zeppelin filling the sky overhead.
A zeppelin?
Crackling through the speakers, you hear this. Come to the Boston Garden this evening for the spectacle of tomorrow. Refrigerators that need no ice. Music broadcast via radio waves. And cars powered by petroleum. Folks,
What year is it?
it's 2020 in steam-powered Somerville. The steam in the new Ligurian Garden home locker room is starting to pool on the ground as Dunkeys regains control of her motor functions. She hits the red button again and sits and waits while Brambleman Martinez comes back. Dunkeys asks, well, you know those Little Leaguers were counterfeit, right? And Brambleman looks and says, well, they didn't play like they were counterfeit. Are you okay, Dunkeys? Yeah, I'm fine. I just have a lot of thinking